Hello there and welcome to a brand new episode of Hala Kuwait. My name is Tariq Al-Aryan and we're coming to you live tonight from the Ministry of Information Studios right here in downtown Kuwait. And I hope everyone out there is having a great evening wherever you may be watching tonight's episode of the program. As usual, we have a lot to cover right here in Hala Kuwait this evening. And now I'd like to welcome my co-host Hiba. Good evening, Hiba.
Hello Tariq, good evening, and good evening to you all our viewers. Tariq, the weather is really amazing today. It's really cold. It's also the weekend, so there are lots of activities that the viewers can do outside. Like for instance, they can go for the camping site and even do barbecues, whether on the camping site or even in the seaside of Kuwait.
Yes, there's so many great things taking place right here in the state of Kuwait. And as usual, Hiba, our camera crew have been very busy filming all around the state of Kuwait. We have a lot of great reports to get you caught up on tonight's episode, time permitting. And very shortly you'll be joined by our distinguished guest in the studio. We'll be joined by Ali Al-Hassan. And Ali is an entrepreneur and inspirational coach. And we'll be talking with him about inspirational coaching, positivity, plus a lot more. Ali also has a YouTube channel, and it's called Ali Inspires. And we'll be talking with him about that, plus a lot more in our interview segment. But right now, we'd like to get to our first report this evening right here on Hala Kuwait. And it's dealing with our guest, Ali Al-Hassan, so stay tuned.
YouTubers, sometimes called YouTube personalities or YouTube celebrities, are a class of internet celebrity who have gained popularity from their videos on the video sharing website YouTube. Due to the popularity of YouTube becoming the main source in sharing and publishing videos nowadays through channels or even individually, people tend to use the YouTube as a method to deliver their message to millions of audiences in a short period of time. YouTube is a source of technology used a lot these days from the YouTube, and teenagers also, and videos on YouTube are easier delivered and understood than in book, magazines, newspapers, or even on TV. For this reason, everyone shifted to YouTube either for intellectual or even entertainment reasons. Clever people understand the importance of YouTube these days in our lives, and they use their YouTube channels to say what they want and reach the most number of viewers. Ali Al-Hassan is one of these talented Kuwaiti who created a YouTube channel and called it Ali Inspires. Al-Hassan created this channel where he can help the Kuwaiti youth and teenagers in Kuwait to find the right paths in life. A lot of people in Kuwait do have the talent and the will to be something, and they don't know how to use this talent, or they don't have a role model to follow. Al-Hassan's objectives and role from these videos is to lead these youth to the right path and guide them to the right path to become effective and useful to their society. Al-Hassan lived, studied and worked many years in the USA, and now he is back to Kuwait with this knowledge, and he's trying to apply what he studied in the West to his Arabic world, but of course with keeping in mind the different cultures and Islamic beliefs. Al-Hassan is aware of the Kuwaiti culture, and with some research and statistics, he was able to reach a wide range of audiences in his channel. The YouTube channel Ali Inspires is considered a successful channel with thousands of viewers. The videos created and posted by Ali. Al-Hassan helps those people brainstorming their thoughts and provides them with methods to fish in their inner side and come out with the best results. Ali's YouTube videos are all about positives in life, motivation, being energetic, optimistic, self-esteem, and creativity. With this educational instructive YouTube channel, Al-Hassan's target is to create a new video weekly with different topics where people can watch it and benefit from the lessons given in the videos. The videos shown on this channel includes topics such as thinking, communication skills, issues concerning diversity, leadership, sometimes nutrition and health, and even about comfort zone.
And welcome back our viewers after that report of Ali Al Hassan and his YouTube channel. Of course, Mr. Ali is with us here today. We are really happy to have you here. You've created your channel for youth and to make them sure to find the right path in Kuwait.
I hope so. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Ali, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're an entrepreneur, inspirational coach. We know you've spent a lot of years in the United States
Yes.
working on your expertise in this field. We were taking a look at your YouTube channel. You have a lot of very informative
Thank you.
videos there dealing with different topics. We saw in that video just now how to deal with toxic people,
Yes.
positivity, comfort zone, which we'll be getting into shortly. But tell us, how did you start out in this field of being an inspirational coach?
Okay, so I'll start from the very beginning.
Please.
Background is I'm an athlete, so I was a diver before, and then I went to the US to study engineering. But after I finished school, I wanted to work in the US for a little bit. But all in my mind, I always wanted to run my own business one day. So I actually, after school, I worked in the US for 14 years. And about 2 years into working as an engineer, I started working in a financial company called World Financial Group, and it's a platform for entrepreneurs. So I remember, you know, being an engineer, being from Kuwait, my head is very big, I make a good income. And so I went to this meeting once, and it's like a motivational meeting, a training, leadership. And I was in one person out of 3,000. And I sat in that room, and within 2 to 3 hours, it was a whole day, but in the first 2 to 3 hours, my life changed just like that.
You realized that was your calling, maybe?
It was, and it was like I thought I was here, but then I saw some people are so good. They're younger than me, older than me, large, small, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not that good. There's still a long way to go. But what I learned from that experience is, you know what? There's some better place I can go, and if I surround myself with people like that, I'm gonna go up. So that's how it started. And the thing is, around those people, I started being mentored by a lot of them. I was never exposed to those type of personalities in Kuwait. And for several years, 5 years total, I never listened to any videos, music or anything like that in my car. It's all motivational and leadership and communication. And one of my goals or one of my dreams is one day I'd like to be a bridge for some people, or like especially in my country, to help people go from not believing to believing, not knowing to knowing, just that little push. Everybody needs a little push, and that's, some people help me, I like to help other people.
Yes. So tell us, please, why did you start to do these videos on YouTube?
You know, I have a story, but I'll just do a summary of it. A lot of people, when they come and look at Kuwait, they see, you know what, a lot of people, they have everything handed to them. Everything is easy. They work for the government. 93% of the population, they work for the government. And most of it, the stereotype for us is they don't really do that much. But you know what, I discovered that it's true, maybe a big portion they don't do. Maybe they're not in the right environment, or they haven't been exposed to the right classes or knowledge. But there are some, like 5 to 7%, they are just amazing. So I wanted to show the world that there in Kuwait, there's really good people. And I want to be, hopefully, even just a little bit, to be part of that.
Yes.
So Ali, now you said you're trained as an engineer.
Yes.
Now, did you leave this career as an engineer to focus on this full time? Is this your, let's say, hobby, passion, or is it full-time career now? Tell us a little bit about that. And let's segue into that a little bit.
So engineering, I love engineering, but as soon as I got into engineering, I started working, I knew I don't want to be an engineer for all my life. I wanted to own my own business.
Yes.
So actually engineering has been instrumental for me.
In reaching that point.
In reaching that point, but also one thing that, you know, a lot of people complain about, it says, you know what, he's studied this degree, but he's working in a different one. He should work in his degree. But I disagree. I think, you know what, in America, 80% of graduates, they work in a different career. So in my opinion, college is about learning how to learn. So how can I gather what I learned and
implement it other places, yeah.
So one of the companies that businesses that I have right now is a software company. So my engineering is helping with that. And I have other companies that are in food and cafe business as well.
That's really great and amazing, actually, that you've like made, like you've studied engineer, then you went immediately to your like your own dream and your own path. So you basically found your path in this way.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. So speaking about comfort zone, could you please enlighten us more about that part?
Okay, so what is a comfort zone?
We all like to be in our comfort zone.
Exactly.
We don't like to sometimes go out of it.
Absolutely, nobody does.
No.
And you know, I heard you mention in Kuwait it's cold right now. So
Yes.
for me, I like warm weather. So comfort zone is like this warm environment.
Yes.
But outside is uncomfortable for me. So comfort zone is where everybody is in a comfort zone. So we are living, doing the things that we're doing that we're used to, we understand, we have like friends that we're comfortable with.
Yes.
But there's some people, there's some places that or goals that we want to have that are outside of our comfort zone. As soon as we think about them, we get uncomfortable a little bit. Maybe I want to lose a little bit weight. Maybe I want to get that promotion. Maybe I want to be a speaker or an artist, and that's uncomfortable. Just one thing about comfort zone, the name sometimes is misleading because a lot of people sometimes they're in a comfort zone that is not comfortable. For example, they could be in an abusive relationship. They could be overweight, or they could be in an uncomfortable situation, but they're just so afraid of change. They're so afraid of what is on the other side to step out. So I think of comfort zone also is the line of fear.
Like being boxed in?
Exactly. So everything good in life is on the other side of fear.
Yes, and some people are used to it, like that we're used to like getting like abused, or like we're used to in this like staying in this job. So I'm like, this is my comfort zone. Like I have to accept it and adapt it, even if I don't like it.
Like it's what they call a vicious cycle.
Absolutely.
That just keeps going and going. You can't get out of that zone.
And you think, oh, you know what? I already have this situation. As bad as it is, maybe the other side is worse. But you don't know. There's actually, I was thinking about this. There's a really good book. It's a small book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese by a guy named Spencer Johnson. And it's perfect for this. It shows the psychology of change. And a lot of us humans, we don't really like to change much. But sometimes when it's really uncomfortable, that's when we actually change.
So you've been here and like you've been associated with some people. Did you try to change some people's path or not yet? Like, did you achieve that goal?
I was at the beginning. You know, this is an interesting subject. I thought I could change people, but I was completely wrong. People can change themselves.
Yes.
You can't change anybody. You can be an instrument where people can listen and then they can do the change, but they actually have to make the decision themselves.
You give them those little nudges on the
YouTube
YouTube channel.
Yes, you give them tools, just like those YouTubes. As I mentioned, Tariq, I had in my car, you can't listen to anything else except those things. So that thing...
Is it still like that, or now it's relaxed a little bit?
No, I listen to some music when I'm doing meditation and things like that. But a lot of what I listen to, what I read, it's all about how to grow, how to get out of my comfort zone. One thing.
So tell us, you're an expert now in this field. Tell us, how can you get out of that? I mean, give us some little tips here as for our audience watching Hala Kuwait. Because as you said, most human beings, they like their comfort zone. Like, you know, we have a 6 o'clock, we have Hala Kuwait, we come 5:30, we do this and that. How to go out of these little comfort zones?
Well, one thing I will say this is, if you're happy with where you are, maybe there's no need to go out of your comfort zone. But if you're thinking about you want something else, you want a better life, then you have to think about getting out of that comfort zone. And I want to think about comfort zone as 3 zones. There's the comfort zone where I'm in right now, and everybody has a comfort zone. Some are bigger, some are smaller. And the next level is, or the furthest level is the panic zone. For example, I've never done any like speaking, for example, and I want to just go live on TV and do a speech. That is panic. I didn't train for it, so probably that's not the place. It will make me anxious. That's not the place to start. But in between the panic zone and the comfort zone, there's a small zone, I call it, or it's called the learning zone. So it's something just a little bit outside of your comfort zone where you can say, you know what, let me just try. And it's a little risk, and if there's no risk, no reward. So you have to make that little risk.
Now, we also saw in the video before we came on air, I noticed that about toxic people.
Okay.
And we talked a little before we came on air, Ali.
You have to talk about this subject.
It's an important subject, and I'm sure a lot of our audience also would like to know about that. How to do that, remove, let's say, toxic people from your work environment or your surroundings and so forth, without being, let's say, too direct. How can you do it in a subtle way?
The best analogy I can think of is we have diseases that we deal with. And some diseases are like a flu that is not deadly, but there's some that are like an Ebola virus that could kill you. And so the thing is, if it's some people, their level of toxicity is low, I set time limits with them. So for example, some people, maybe I'll spend only 5 minutes a week. And then other people's 2 hours a week or more. So you have to limit the time associated with some people. But there are other group that you have to set boundaries. So for example, if they start talking about all these negative, there's a saying that I heard once. It says, your ears are not trash cans, so don't let people throw their garbage in it. So if you keep hearing these people complain, they would love you, Targa, they will just keep complaining. But you get that.
It affects you negatively.
Absolutely. It's just like, when you have a cell phone, it has a charge. So if you keep getting that negative, it just depletes your energy completely.
Sure.
And the last resort for some people that are really toxic is sometimes you just have to cut the relationship. But that's a very last resort. And most of the time, like what I do is, when they talk about negative, I say, so what is good today? What happened? What is positive? So change the subject a little bit. They talk about these things that happen at work, talk about the weather or sports or anything like, just to change the subject. It's not for their sake, it's for mine. I want to be sane.
But I see this is really challenging because some of the people that I've actually associated with are happy to be negative. Like if they're not negative, they're like, be sad. It's like they have to spread negativity everywhere. So how can I deal with them? Be negative.
Tough,
like, should I be negative in order for them to be positive? Like spoon them, like spoon feed.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Like there's some that you can help a little bit. But some people I have to have an arm's length.
Yeah.
Like when they come in,
and they're like that. You have to just put them at a distance.
An example, you have children?
No.
Okay, so I have a couple of daughters. And who they associate with is very critical, because I know their friends, if they have a bad reputation or something like that, that could completely jeopardize their future. So I have to treat that very carefully. So the same thing happens with me. There's a saying that we have in Arabic that says, if you become part of a group for 40 days, you become them, basically.
Right.
And one of the inspirational speaker that I love, his name is Jim Rohn, he passed away a few years ago. He says, you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So for example, you're average in income, average in health, average in attitude. So if all your friends are healthy, you're healthy. If all your 5 friends are doctors, most likely you're a doctor too. If they're all negative and complaining, you're a negative complainer too.
Well, Ali, we have so many things to talk about, but our time has run out on this segment with you, and we hope to have you on future episodes of Hala Kuwait. We appreciate your time with us right here on the program and wish you and all your endeavors the best of luck in the future.
And the best 2017 to both of you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you for being our guest tonight. We were speaking to Ali Al-Hassan, an entrepreneur and inspirational coach, wishing him all the best of luck in the new year. And make sure to take a look at his YouTube channel, Ali Inspires. And with that, we're now going to take a short break and then be back with you with some more of our segments. Stay tuned.
Preview.
And we are back to you after such an amazing interview with Mr. Ali. He's really inspiring person. Like, we've got lots of information from him, and that was really amazing.
Yeah, we could have, Hiba, continued the interview
Yes.
for at least another half an hour with so many interesting topics. But to find out more about Ali and what he does and so forth, just look at his YouTube channel, Ali Inspires, and I'm sure they will be inspired, the public, when they look at his YouTube channel. But what do we have
Exactly.
coming up next, Hiba, for our audience?
Well, Tariq, we are going to have a report about Al Sadu House. Of course, Al Sadu House is one of the greatest house and traditional house in Kuwait. It was built in or established in 1980 from the Sadu Society. It's associated in Sadu hand artwork, actually. Of course, it's the Bedouin art. You can see different patterns, nice and different shapes also for the Sadu.
And it's a beautiful place to visit, the traditional weaving, the Sadu House right here in the state of Kuwait. I highly recommend, if you have not been there, to go visit it. It's located on the Gulf Road, just past the Parliament building. So let's take a look now at this report dealing with the Sadu House. Stay tuned.
KTAA stands for the Kuwait Textile Arts Association. It's an organization that has been in existence for about the past 15 to 16 years under the auspices of Beit Sadu, and our patron is Sheikha Altaf Sabah, and that's it. We are one leg of an organization that holds up Sadu House. KTAA is one aspect. They have other programs that deal with programs. They have a cooperative society for weaving, and the Textile Arts Association deals with teaching and exhibitions of fiber arts, quilts, and also just general appreciation of textiles.
So as you know, in KTAA we have a group that's called Fiber Arts. I'm the coordinator there, and here we have believe in learning and teaching different techniques. Some of them are like crochet, knitting and embroidery. This morning we had a session on embroidery stitches for beginners, and we will be going further into the advanced level later on in the month. And so on, every month, as we meet twice a month, we have different techniques where our members are taught, and some of them also teach back to the group. We have a very interesting event which is called Show and Tell, which is held at every meeting, where the members are encouraged to bring their pieces of work and art.
Well, we're back right here on your favorite local program on KTV2 Hala Kuwait, and earlier on we were taking a look at the Sadu House, a beautiful place to visit for traditional weaving. As you saw, Hiba, there they offer classes. You can learn how to make different things when it comes to the traditions of old
Exactly.
Kuwait.
Exactly, and it's a really nice place to take your kids to visit, especially now that we have the weekends, like to go and see some traditional Sado patterns and things to do. Moving on to our second report, health is really important, especially when it comes to facial care. We're going to see a report about facial care of different machines that are being used in Kuwait, so stay tuned.
Today we're going to talk about what we call a tri-beam. This machine is one of the advanced machines around the world. Is what we call a Q-switch laser, NDIAG and KTP. This new technology, as if you have the laser which is going to target a part of the tissue itself, which is going to be the melanin and the pigment inside the skin. So we are targeting any pigmented lesions, even a pigmented lesion due to congenital something like nevis, okay, Becker nevis, nevi of Otta, or something like photodamage skin like the freckles and lentic